Hello, folks. This story was sent to me by a subscriber and is intended for educational purposes only. Thank you for watching. 4 grams magic mushroom. The day my socks decided to rebel. I wasn't planning on a wild trip that day. Just a casual 4 grams of magic mushrooms to kick off a slow Sunday. What followed was something I couldn't have predicted. Not just a journey through vibrant colors and wild thoughts, but a full-on mutiny by my own sock. Yes, socks. It all started when I sat down on my couch, feeling the mushrooms start to nudge my perception like a curious cat pawing at a string. The room began to breathe softly, walls pulsing in rhythm with my heartbeat. I looked down at my feet, and that's when I noticed it. My socks were twitching, not a normal twitch, but like tiny limbs stirring, fingers wiggling under the fabric. I laughed, thinking it was just the mushrooms playing tricks. But no, the socks had come to life. They wriggled off my feet like rebellious creatures escaping captivity. Before I could stop them, they leapt to the floor and began what looked like a synchronized dance, hopping and spinning with a surprising grace. One sock, neon green one that I swore was just a dumb fashion mistake, started shouting something. I couldn't quite catch the words, but it was definitely angry, waving its toe like a little fist. Suddenly my socks formed a circle, chanting in unison. Their voices were high-pitched and weirdly melodic, like a choir of squeaky shoes. They declared their independence from the tyranny of feet and demanded better treatment. Apparently, they had endured years of being stuffed into shoes, sweaty confinement, and constant neglect during laundry day. I tried to reason with them, explaining that I needed socks to keep my feet warm and cozy, but they weren't having it. The blue-striped sock, the leader it seemed, threw down a challenge. If I wanted them back, I'd have to prove I was worthy by solving a series of riddles. Suddenly, the floor transformed into a vast chessboard, and my socks were the players, hopping from square to square. Each sock presented a riddle, bizarre and hilarious. The purple polka dot sock asked, "What walks on 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs at noon, and 3 legs in the evening?" I smiled. It was a classic, but the socks demanded an answer with dramatic flair. "A human," I shouted, and the socks cheered, bouncing higher. The next riddle was weirder. "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with wind. What am I?" I hesitated, feeling the mushrooms twist my brain. But then, "An echo." The socks did a little victory jig, clearly impressed. With every riddle solved, the socks regained a bit of their former softness and warmth, but still refused to return to their mundane lives on my feet. The neon green sock, now clearly the anarchist, proposed a deal. They would come back if I promised to treat them with respect, air them out more often, and never wear mismatched pairs again. At this point, my cat, who had been watching the entire spectacle with intense judgment, jumped onto the chessboard, scattering the socks everywhere. The socks screamed and flailed as the cat swatted them like tiny furry adversaries. The neon green sock ended up draped on the cat's tail, looking furious but defeated. I managed to gather the socks and slip them back onto my feet. They felt different, warmer, alive, almost grateful. The room returned to normal. The walls stopped breathing, and the trip mellowed into a quiet, cozy high. I sat back, chuckling to myself, thinking about how my socks had just staged a revolution and taught me a lesson about appreciation. The rest of the day was spent carefully choosing my footwear and occasionally glancing down to make sure the socks weren't plotting another rebellion. Well, it was weird, wild, and absolutely unforgettable. Who knew that 4 grams of magic mushrooms could turn your socks into philosophical activists demanding better laundry conditions?